أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ثم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه الأخيار أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum to every one of us here. It's been long overdue. It's been too long and I apologize for that, inshallah. Finally, we are beginning with the book 3 of Alqirā-atur-Rāshida. Now, after we've waited for a long time, and I just hope the waiting period you used it to go through other lessons, you used it to revise the previous ones you've done, because there are a whole lot of vocabularies and expressions to memorize, to keep, to preserve, to practice, and all that. So, though we should have the energy to finish the book, I think most concern should be about how much of that, the percentage of the book that we are able to retain, or we are able to maintain and practice, inshallah. So from today, inshallah, gradually we would be, I can't promise how fast that will be, but then we would, any small time that we get, we will do well to capture a portion of the book 3 till we are done with it also. May Allah aid us through as we've started. Book 3 starts with lesson number 74. الرابع والسبعون. الحياة في مدينة الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم. Life in the city of the messenger, may Allah be pleased with him. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. Now, Madinatul Rasul here, that is the Madinatul Munawwarah. Okay, so basically life in the city of the messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him. He says, ها هو ذا قد أسفر النهار. The expression ها هو ذا is kind of, this is it, or this is him. You ask me, Aina Ridwan, I can tell you, Ha huwa dha. Aina Ridwan, Ha huwa dha. Here he is. Ha huwa dha can be, here it is, or this is it. So here, Ha huwa dha bimana, this is it. Qad asfara naharu. The daytime is daytime. Qad asfara naharu bimana, it is daytime. Let's break it. Asfara bimana azhara. Asfara bimana appeared. An-naharu, daytime. Daytime where the sun has finally risen. So when we say asfara an-naharu bimana, the daytime has appeared. Basically, it is daytime. In English, we say this is it. It is daytime. It's a way of capturing the scene for you. So he's first giving you the picture, that is the time, such that you can imagine that everywhere is clear, everybody is about their life. Life has started. So he says, Ha huwa dha qad asfara naharu. This is it. It is daytime. Okay. وَالنَّاسُ رَاجِعُونَ مِنَ الْمَسْجِدِ. And people are returning from the masjid. وَالنَّاسُ رَاجِعُونَ مِنَ الْمَسْجِدِ النَّبَوِي. And people are returning from the Prophet's masjid. فِي سَكِينَةٍ وَوَقَارٍ. Sakina, we've seen it a lot, in comfort. They are coming back from the masjid in comfort, in tranquility. Waqar, in composure, solemnity. You see, they are coming back in tranquility and with composure. Kind of, they are coming back, and when you see them, you see they are very comfortable. You see them coming in a very composed manner. Okay. ولكن في خفة ونشاط. But then when we say خفة بمعنى liveliness, though they are coming back in composure, serenity and all that, you can see activeness and liveliness in them. Okay, so when we say خفة, we mean swiftness or liveliness. When somebody, you say خفيف بمعنى is swift. So they are coming back in خفة ونشاط. They are coming back in swiftness and activeness. or liveliness and activeness. وهنا دكان يفتح في السوق, and here is a store, and here is a store or a shop. يفتح في السوق, being opened, and this is, or you can say, and here is a store or a shop being opened. يفتح في السوق, being opened in the market. So يفتح here, say being opened in the market. وهنالك سكة تمشي في الحقل, and there is, you see, هنا is here, very short. هناك is farther than هنا. So when I say هنا, here, هناك, there. When I say هنالك, هنالك is farther than هناك. I think we've done that explanation before. So هنالك, and there, like somewhere far, a bit far. سكة تمشي في الحقل. سكة here, I would like you to take like a train. Afwan, not a train. Sekatun is mostly used for railway, the metal that the train passes on. We call it Sekatun Hadidiyya. Sekatun Hadidiyya. I think we've seen it with the Qatar, when we were doing the Qatar. Okay. Sekatun is also used for plowshare. Plowshare, you know, there is this metal thing that looks like a fork. They attach it to the back of an animal or a car or any machine, and as it drags on the farmland or the field, it plows the earth. So that is also called sikatun. So we can say that, and there you can see that kind of the plowshare, tamshi fil haql, moving in the field. وهذا بستان من نخيل يسقى, and this is a garden of nakhil, palm trees. وهذا بستان من نخيل يسقى, being irrigated. يسقى, it is being irrigated. وهذا بستان من نخيل, أي بستان النخيل, garden of palm trees. Okay, being irrigated. And he says وذلك أجير يشتغل في حائط على أجرة, and that is a laborer, ajirun, a laborer, somebody who has been employed to work on something. He's an ajir. وذلك أجير يشتغل في حائط, and this is and that is a laborer working on a wall. حائط بمعنى wall, WALL. على أجرة, on salary base or an allowance base. على أجرة يعني he is working to take أجرة, to take a fee. أجرة, to take a allowance, to take a payment. يأخذها في المساء, which he will take in the evening. يأخذها في المساء, which he will take in the evening. The ha here refers to the أجرة. So وذلك أجير يشتغل في حائط على أجرة يأخذها في المساء, and this وذلك, and that is a laborer working on a wall for a salary or for an allowance, for a fee which he will take up in the evening. وقد اندفعوا إلى أشغالهم, and they've been moved. اندفع, to move, to be moved. أنا اندفعت إلى شراء السيارة. I was moved to buying a car. Something moved me. So وقد اندفعوا إلى أشغالهم, and they've been moved to their various works, their various occupations. بما سمعوا من فضيلة كسب الحلال, due to what they've heard from the virtue, fadila, virtue of earning kasb. Kasb is earning, EARNING. They've been moved to their various works due to what they've heard of the virtue of earning halal, getting halal income, earning legitimate income. وطلب مرضات الله بالمال, and seeking the pleasure of Allah with money. So they've heard of the virtues in earning halal and also using your money which you earned halal to earn the pleasure of Allah, that is giving sadaqah and all that. So طلب مرضات الله بالمال, طلب رضوان الله بالمال, pleasure of Allah. ترونهم خفاف الأيدي في العمل. See, you see them خفاف الأيدي. You see them very swift. You see them very swift in their works. Yani their hands are very swift in their works. ذلل اللسان بذكر الله. ذلل اللسان بذكر الله. And their tongues are light. ذلل, the plural of ذليل, to be weak, to be soft. So we say ذلل اللسان بذكر الله. If it's singular, we say ذليل اللسان بذكر الله. So he says ذلل اللسان بذكر الله, yani you see them and their tongues are very light in terms of remembrance of Allah. Yani it's not heavy for them to do zikr. You see them working very swiftly with their hands, and also their tongues are very smooth with the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. آمري القلوب بالحسبة وطلب الأجر. When we say al-hisba, al-hisba is actually known to be an occupation that checks the morality of the market. It's like a price control office. So when we say, normally when the Arab says, they have a saying, they say tawalla mansib al-hisba. Like I would say tawalla Ridwanu mansib al-hisba. Ridwan has taken the position of the market controller. So you check the market prices in market. They will be working in the market, checking whether people are not overpricing and underpricing and all that. So that is one. Hisba is that position of price control. Okay. We also have when we say فعل رضوان هذا العمل فعل رضوان هذا العمل حسبا أو حسبة عفوا فعل رضوان هذا العمل حسبة. Ridwan did this work whilst expecting his reward after us from Allah. So I did this sadaqah sincerely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, expecting my reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It has that meaning also. When we say هذا الرجل حسن الحسبة, هذا الرجل حسن الحسبة, this man knows how to go about affairs. Yani حسن التدبير, he is good about manipulating and going about affairs. He's good about management and all that. Okay, we have all that meaning. Here, when we say Amiril Kuluba here, or Amiril Kulubi bil Hisbati wa Talab al Ajri. Yani we can say that they fill people's hearts with good works and expecting their reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can put it in that meaning. They occupy people's hearts with good works, expecting their results from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That meaning as at now, inshallah. He says, يحتسبون في أشغالهم ما لا يحتسب المصلي اليوم في صلاته. They, in the time of the Prophet in the Medina, people will be working, and you see that whilst they are working, they are looking for a reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Such a reward that even today, the Muslim today, praise and do not even have that expectation of such a reward. They will be working and they see the work as ibadah, and they make a good intention, expecting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless them with it. What is the problem today? Somebody stands in prayer and they don't even have a feel of the prayer they are doing. So he says that they then يحتسبون في أشغالهم, they used to expect such a reward from their works, such a reward that ما لا يحتسب المصلي اليوم في صلاته, such a reward that the prayerful one today would be standing in salat and was not even expecting such a reward. It shows how weak our iman has become. May Allah strengthen our iman. He says مقبلين بقلوبهم إلى الله, they turn their hearts towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Muqbil, to face. Yani aqbala, to face a direction. Muqbil, the one facing. Muqbilina bi kulubihim ilallahi, they turn with their hearts towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa bi qalibihim, qalib, that is the word. Qalib is actually the model of something, the body of something. So when we say they turn their hearts towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wa bi qalibihim, and with their bodies, ila shuglihim, to their work. So their bodies will be focused on their works, but their hearts are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he says, wa ha huwa dha, and here it is, qad adhan al muazzin, the muazzin has said the azan. Azana here, he has said the azan. Azana has the literal meaning of to give permission. Ana azantu lahu. Min fadlik azinni bil huruj. Please give me the permission to go out. Okay, so azana bimana, to give permission. But when we see it in this concept or context, azana al muazzinu, the muazzin has said the azan. فإذا بهم يعني you see them right away. ينفضون أيديهم مما كانوا فيه. They take their, when we say infadda, to disperse, infadda, like we have in the verse, فبما رحمة من الله لنت لهم ولو كنت فظا غليظ القلب لانفضوا من حولك. لانفضوا, لا انفضوا من حولك, they would have dispersed from you. Okay, so here when he says ينفضون, فإذا بهم ينفضون أيديهم مما كانوا فيه. So you see them right away. When the muazzin gives the azan, right away they are all taking their hands off what they were doing, what they were engaged in. They stop right away. كأن لم يكن لهم به أحد, as if they were not even involved in it at all. لم يكن لهم به أحد. أحد is to have a time with somebody. Like if I say كأنه لم يكن بيني وبينك أحد, as if myself and you never shared a time. So they take their hands off what they were doing, as if they didn't even have anything doing at all. وخف إلى المسجد, and they وخف إلى المسجد رجال لا تلهيهم تجارة ولا بيع عن ذكر الله وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة يخافون يوما تتقلب فيه القلوب والأبصار. So you see what he did here. He says وخف إلى المسجد. This is the fa'il. The ayah here is the fa'il of khaffa. Yani they move towards. Who moves? رجال لا تلهيهم, men whose trade do not busy them, whose trade or buying and selling does not busy them. لا تلهيهم, it doesn't make them busy. عن ذكر الله, over the remembrance of Allah. You could check the meaning of the verse from the Quran. وإقام الصلاة, and saying the salat, the business, tijara, wala bay'un, or selling, does not take their attention off their zikr, the remembrance of Allah, and putting up their prayer, wa ita is zakat, and giving the zakat. يخافون يوما تتقلب فيه القلوب, they fear the day that hearts would be turned, wal absar, and the eyes will be turned, yani the judgment day. Okay, so you could check the verse up, يوم تتقلب. Let me see. That will be Surah An-Nur, verse number 24, chapter number 24, verse number 37. You could check the verse out to get the full meaning. But what I want to tell you here is that وَخَفَّ إِلَى الْمَسْجِدِ, the rijalun is the fa'il of the khaffa. Okay, such that it wouldn't confuse you. It might confuse people the way he put it. It's like saying وَخَفَّ إِلَى الْمَسْجِدِ الرِّجَالُ. You see, instead of saying that, he brings a verse that fits in the purpose. وَخَفَّ إِلَى الْمَسْجِدِ رِجَالٌ لَا تُلْهِيهِمْ تِجَارَةٌ وَلَا بَيْعٌ عَنْ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَإِقَامِ الصَّلَاةِ وَإِيتَاءِ الزَّكَاةِ يَخَافُونَ يَوْمًا تَتَقَلَّبُ فِيهِ الْقُلُوبُ وَالْأَبْصَارُ. Okay, أيوة. such men move to the masjid. Okay, Jamil. And then he says, وَهَا هُوَ ذَا, and here it is, قَدْ قَضَوْا صَلَاتَهُمْ, they finish their prayer. قَضَوْا صَلَاتَهُمْ, they finish their prayer. وَانْتَشَرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, and they've spread across the land. يَبْتَغُونَ مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ, seeking of the favors of Allah or the bounties of Allah. وَيَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ, and they are doing the remembrance of Allah. وَقَدْ مَالَتِ الشَّمْسُ إِلَى الْغُرُوبِ, مَالَ, to decline, and the sun had declined towards setting. Al-ghurub, setting, sun setting. Al-ghurub, moving away. غرب يغرب غروب. غرب يعني ذهب, يغرب يعني يذهب, الغروب يعني الذهاب. So the sun has declined towards setting. It has declined towards vanishing. So it's almost about sunset. فَرَجَعُوا إِلَى بُيُوتِهِمْ, so they returned to their houses. وَقَابَلُوا أَهْلَهُمْ, and they met their families. So he's giving us a picture of their life in Medina. وَجَلَسُوا إِلَيْهِمْ, and they sit with their families. يَتَحَدَّثُونَ مَعَهُمْ, they sit with their families, speaking with them. يُلَاطِفُونَهُمْ, treating them nicely. يُلَاطِفُونَهُمْ, kind of entertaining them, keeping them excited. That is the meaning of لَاطَفَ. يُلَاطِفُ is from لَاطَفَ. So when we say لَاطَفَ, bimana to fondle, to play around with. So يُلَاطِفُونَهُمْ, they play with their families. Okay. وَيُؤْنِسُونَهُمْ, and they keep them company. طَمَعًا فِي أَجْرٍ مِنَ اللَّهِ, seeking a reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَرِضْوَانٍ, and the pleasure of Allah, seeking a reward and pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because they know that it is in the sunnah, or it is in the religion, that when you entertain your family, you keep your family company, you get a reward. So they do that tama'an, in seeking fi ajrin min Allah, in seeking a reward from Allah, wa ridwanin, and pleasure. As I said, ridwan is like mardat. Okay. Wa namu ba'da salat al-isha, and they sleep, you see them sleep after salat al-isha. Wa idha bihim qa'imuna amama rabbihim fil ashari, and you see them standing before their Lord fil ashari. Ashar is the plural of saharun. Saharun, that is the early dawn, yani the last part of the night. So let me say, like in Ghana here, you would say somewhere around 3:30 a.m. That is about an hour and 30 minutes to Fajr, or an hour to Fajr, or let's say some 2 hours to Fajr. Some 2 hours to Fajr, that is, we say the last part of the night. That is what we call Saharun. So you see them standing before their Lord fil ashar, during the last part of the night. Lahum dawiyun kadawiyin nahli, they have this sound. Dawiyun is a sound. They have this sound. Dawiyun is also having the meaning of roar, R-O-A-R, that large sound, or growl, or echo. Okay, but when you see lahum dawiyun kadawiyin nahli, the dawiyun has been described. They have this sound. You see them producing this sound, that like that of the bee, like the sound of the bee, B-E-E, that animal. That So when they wake up in the night and they are standing before their Lord, you hear the sound in them as if they are crying, as if they are saying some dua. You hear them you see this kind of sound emanating from them. When we say dawiyun kadawiyin nahli, that is a sound like the sound of a bee. وَفِي صُدُورِهِمْ أَزِيرٌ كَأَزِيرِ الْمِرْجَلِ. Now these expressions are used together. And you see, in their chest, صُدُورِهِمْ أَزِيرٌ كَأَزِيرِ الْمِرْجَلِ. Azir is also a sound. Okay, Azir is also sound. كَأَزِيرِ الْمِرْجَلِ is also used together. But the word mirjal is the water heater. You see the the kettle they put on, or the container they put on fire to heat water with, to warm water with, that is a mirjal. Okay, in their chest there is this sound like that of the mirjal. What does this azirun ke azirul mirjar mean? When we say azirun ke azirul mirjar, we mean, you see, when there's kettle on the fire and the water in it is boiling, that sound you hear, don't picture the current time, because nobody is even using that kind of thing. Put your eyes to you having stones and setting a fire, a very village setting, setting a fire and putting a kettle on it, and the water is boiling. That kind of sound that you hear, that is the azirun ke aziril mirjali. And this is from a hadith actually. All these expressions are mostly from a hadith. In the hadith, it says, I think one of the Sahaba says, أتيت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو يصلي ولجوفه أزير كأزير المرجل من البكاء. I came to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم whilst he was praying, and I could feel in him a sound like that of the water kettle boiling on the fire from tears. Okay, that is how the hadith goes. You could check it out. He says, وَيَنْصَرِفُونَ بَعْدَ صَلَاةِ الصُّبْحِ إِلَى أَشْغَالِهِمْ, and they move from after the Salat al-Subh, that is the Fajr, they move after Fajr إِلَى أَشْغَالِهِمْ, to their various works, فِي نَشَاةِ الْجُنْدِيِّ وَقُوَّتِهِ, in the energy of a soldier and his strength. You see, all these are expressions you could inculcate in your speaking. في نشاة الجندي وقوته, they move after salat, going to their works in the energy and the activeness of a soldier and his strength. كأن لم يتعبوا في النهار, as if the previous daytime they didn't stress, they were not tired. ولم يسهروا في الليل, and they did not stay awake in the night. Sahara or sahira is to stay awake in the night. As we saw in the abiyas that we explained, man طلب الأولى سهر الليالي, whoever seeks to get any higher standards in life must keep night vigil. So ولم يسهروا في الليل, and as if they didn't keep the night vigil. So somebody who has stressed daytime and has also kept night vigil, prayed his fajr, you see them going to their works actively like soldiers. Okay, you see them going active like that, as if they weren't the ones who were going through all that stress during the daytime and also waking up at night to pray. Okay. And then he says, let me see, this looks quite long, but then let's just add this paragraph, inshallah. It says, unzuru ila majalis zikri. Unzuru ila majalis zikri. Look at the sittings of, or the halakat of dhikr wal ilmi, and knowledge, fil masjid, in the masjid. You know that those times, or even now, the masjid has halakat where people sit and do zikr, and where people sit and go about their studies. وَقَدْ ضَمَّتْ صُنُوفًا وَأَنْوَاعًا مِنَ النَّاسِ. Types or groups, classes and types of people have joined the majalis dhikr wal ilm, the sittings of remembrance and studies. فَهَذَا هُوَ الْفَلَّاهُ. So this is the peasant farmer. This is the farmer. الَّذِي رَأَيْتَهُ فِي النَّهَارِ فِي حَكْلِ. The one you saw in the afternoon in his field. So he's telling you the halakat, the sittings of knowledge, where they are sitting to study. You now see again the farmer he just showed us in the afternoon working on his field. Here he is in the class again to study, in the masjid to study. وهذا هو الأجير الذي رأيته ينزع الدلاء. And this is the laborer that you saw drawing out the bucket, the pail. You know, when there is a well, and you put the bucket in, as the way we fetch water around here. I think all of us know that kind of thing. You put a bucket in the well and fetch water. that bucket is called the dilwun. Okay, and the plural is the dila. Do you see in the I think in the Quran we have the fa'adla dal what or something like that. Let me quickly find it. I wish it's in the Quran. Oh no. Fa'adla dalwahu. I think there is something like that somewhere. Aywa Suratul Yusuf. Suratul Yusuf, chapter number 12, verse number 19. وَجَاءَتْ سَيَّارَةٌ فَأَرْسَلُوا وَارِدَهُمْ فَأَدْلَى دَلْوَهُ. So the dalwun is the bucket. Check the verse. Surah to Yusuf, verse number 12, chapter number 12, verse number 19. وَجَاءَتْ سَيَّارَةٌ فَأَرْسَلُوا وَارِدَهُمْ فَأَدْلَى دَلْوَهُ قَالَ يَا بُشْرَى هَذَا غُلَامٌ وَأَسَرُّوهُ بِضَاعَةً وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِمَا يَعْمَلُونَ. So the dalu is the bucket. The plural is ad-dila. He says, وَهَذَا هُوَ الْأَجِيرُ, and this is the laborer, الَّذِي رَأَيْتَهُ يَنْزِعُ الدِّلَاء, which the one you saw that is taking out the bucket. Okay, we could give it that meaning. Yani fetching water, basically. وَيَسْقِي النَّخِيلَ فِي بُسْتَانٍ يَهُودِي. You see him fetching water, يَنْزِعُ الدِّلَاء, fetching water, and irrigating النَّخِيل, the palm. You see him fetching water and irrigating the palm. في بستان يهودي, in the farm of a Jewish. Yehudi, Jewish, the farm of a Jewish. وهذا هو التاجر الذي رأيته, and this is the trader الذي رأيته في سوق المدينة يبيع, and this is the trader that you saw in the market of the city selling. وهذا هو الصناع. صناع is the manufacturer. الذي وجدته مشتغلا, which the one you saw or the one you found busy بصناعته, busy مشتغلا, busy بصناعته, with his products. He's busy with his productions. وَلَيْسُ الْآنَ إِلَّا طَلَبَةِ عِلْمٍ, and they are nothing here but students of knowledge. So all the people go about their daily activities, but then they come to the masjid to study. وَقَدْ هَجَرُوا رَاحَتَهُمْ, and they've gone away, هَجَرُوا, they've gone away from their rest, راحة, they've left their comfort. وَهُمْ فِي حَاجَةٍ إِلَيْهَا بَعْدَ شُغْلِ النَّهَارِ, whilst they need that rest, after the busy day or after the work of the day. وَتَرَكُوا أَهْلَهُمْ وَهُمْ فِي حَنِينٍ, and they've left their families whilst they are in nostalgia towards them. They've left their families while they are in nostalgia towards them. They miss them. حنين, that is nostalgic feeling. لأنهم سمعوا أن الملائكة, because they've heard that the angels لتضع أجنحتها, the angels place their wings لطالب العلم, for the student of knowledge, رضا بما صنع, in pleasure of what he is done. So when the student of knowledge is going to study, there is a hadith that the angel places their wings for the person to step on as he's going. بما صنع أي بما فعل. وَلِأَنَّهُمْ سَمِعُوا, and because they've heard, لَا يَقْعُدُ قَوْمٌ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ إِلَّا حَفَّتْهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. They've heard in the hadith of the Prophet that people do not sit. يَقْعُدُ قَعَدَ is like jalasa, to sit. A people do not sit remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, except that حَفَّتْهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ, the angels surround them. حَفَّتْهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ, the angels surround them. وَغَشِيَتْهُمُ الرَّحْمَةُ, and mercy covers them. غَشِيَ, to cover, and mercy covers them. وَنَزَلَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّكِينَةُ, and tranquility falls upon them. وَذَكَرَهُمُ اللَّهُ فِي مَنْ عِنْدَهُ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions them among the people with him, among those with him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will mention the group here on this earth doing the remembrance of Allah or reciting the Quran or studying. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes the angel covers them with his mercy, and tranquility descends upon them, and also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes a mention of them to the people, to those around him. Tarahum sakitin, silent. You see them mute. كأن على رؤوسهم الطير, as if there is a bird on their heads. This is an expression to show how severe their silence is when they are sitting to study. خاشعين كأن الوحي ينزل. You see them in fear. You see them in not fear as in scared of animal or something. You see them having the fear of Allah. كأن الوحي ينزل, as if there is a revelation that is going to descend. حتى إذا فزع عن قلوبهم قالوا ماذا قال ربكم, until fear will be taken out of their hearts. This is a portion of the verse, or the verse that follows it explains this. All right, so I'll give you the verse so that you check the verse, inshallah. You read from before and then this one also. That is, we have Surah Saba, chapter number 34, verse number 23. وَلَا تَنْفَعُ الشَّفَاعَةُ إِنْدَهُ إِلَّا لِمَنْ أَذِنَ لَهُ حَتَّى إِذَا فُزِّعَ عَنْ قُلُوبِهِمْ قَالُوا مَاذَا قَالَ رَبُّكُمْ قَالُوا الْحَقَّ وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْكَبِيرُ. So you could check the verse out, Surah Saba, chapter number 34, verse number 23. Okay, so he put that verse also here. You could check it from the Quran. يتسابق العلم والخشوع فلا يدرى أيهما أسبق وتبتدر المعاني إلى القلوب والكلمات إلى الآذان فلا يدرى أيهما أسرع. Inshallah, we will end on this and then we continue from here in the next session. May Allah grant us beneficial knowledge. Inshallah, we will be doing our best every now and then. Whatever short time that we have, we do well to record a piece of it, inshallah. Hope I'm forgiven for the long delay. Please pardon me when we all finish the book in one piece. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.